Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. I think we can all agree it's not bad, but not a lot happens in it, because not a lot can happen in it, because the Mogera and Space Godzilla suits are so clunky that not a lot can be done when you're wearing one. Because of that, the action is not great. There's a lot of beams, there's a lot of magic, whatever Space Godzilla has when he's levitating Godzilla. It's interesting. No, it's not that fun to watch over and over again. It's just like, oh hey, that was kind of cool. Now what? I don't really like Mogera. He is my least favorite of all the mechs in the series. Well, except maybe one, but we'll get to that. The baby Godzilla, obviously adorable. I like the guy from Godzilla vs. Biollante, the soldier who's now like sworn revenge against Godzilla for killing his friend in the past. That was cool. The psychic story, I never understood the psychic story. I understood it for the most part. It just felt like it came out of nowhere, and it's just like, okay, can you like skip this part? I don't really like it. But yeah, we'll get to that further later. Invasion of Astro Monster. I don't know, I just found this one kind of forgettable, except for like one fight scene between the three of them. It was basically like Ghidorah the three-headed monster without Mothra in space with more aliens. I didn't like Ghidorah the three-headed monster that much to begin with, but we'll get to that. It feels like rehashing. I think that's what happened. I don't know, it's just, there's not much for me to say about this one. Godzilla vs. Gigan. The monster fighting is really, really fun to watch, especially when Gigan starts doing stuff. He makes them bleed, which is kind of jarring the first time you see it. Like, oh my god, did Godzilla just bleed? Like, he's over here holding his shoulder, and just, it does have its moments of being stupid. Like, more aliens, but this time they're bugs. And they're hiding in plain sight amongst the humans for reasons. And Gears runs face first into Gigan's buzzsaw for reasons I will never understand. I like that the main character is a comic book artist, or just like a cartoon artist. You know, that was interesting. But oh, the monsters talking. I can't talk about Godzilla vs. Gigan without talking about the monsters talking. It was funny. It was out of nowhere, and it didn't make any sense. It made somewhat sense. It's not like they were actually talking. It's just like showing you what they were saying by roaring at each other. But it was still pretty funny and kind of out of nowhere. Yeah, it was kind of stupid, but like, there's different levels, and I think that was an acceptable amount of stupid for the movie. Ghidorah didn't really leave that much of an impression in this movie. Godzilla, City on the Edge of Battle. Remember when I mentioned Mechagodzilla with Godzilla Monster Planet? Yeah, he's technically in this. You can see him in this poster behind Godzilla with his red eyes. You never see him like that in the movie. You see his head, and that's it. He doesn't do anything. They use the technology he's made from. In the time they were away from the planet, the head has basically built a city that they take shelter in. And then they use the technology from the city to upgrade their mech suits from the first movie to basically do the same plan all over again. And that is the extent to which Mechagodzilla is used. As you can tell, this is very infuriating for any Mechagodzilla fans. It's just not that great for him. The rest of the movie, it's fine. Like, it's all three of these movies. They're animated well. They're like they have good acting for the most part. I like the two twin girls that are obviously supposed to be the like fairies or whatever. I would like them more if Mothra had any significance in this series, but whatever. As characters, they're pretty good, but the rest of them, they're fine. They're not bad. They're not great. They're just average. They're kind of stereotypes, but like it takes some real stereotyping for me to care, or to not care, I guess. But yeah, not great, but it's fine, except for the Mechagodzilla bit, which was bad. If you don't care about Mechagodzilla, I guess you won't mind this movie. Godzilla Planet of the Monsters. The best of the trilogy, in my opinion, because it could have worked if the other monsters weren't teased. If it was just solely like, oh, it was just a movie with the humans versus Godzilla only. Like, they didn't tease, oh, hey, other monsters are going to be in this trilogy, and, like, the only hint that other monsters existed was the epilogue, and not, like, interviews with other people in development of this movie. Like, it's just, like, little homages to other monsters. That would have been fine. I don't think I would have cared as much, because I would have been like, well, it's not like people are saying this is going to be in the movie later. I don't know. Like, it's fine. Like I said, the characters, they're all right. They're kind of stereotypy. Godzilla's design, he's a mutated plant now? I might be interpreting this wrong because of the tree trunk skin and leaf dorsal fins, but I think somewhere someone said that he is a mutation of the plant life and not of an actual living, not of an actual sentient creature, which that doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. It does take a while to get to Godzilla, because they spend like the first half hour in space getting back to Earth and dealing with Haruo's bullcrap. If you like Attack on Titan, you might recognize Haruo, because he's basically a copy-paste Eren Yeager, which that was a little distracting, but I don't really watch that much Attack on Titan. I watched like the first half of season 1, so I recognize that there are a lot of similarities, but it doesn't bug me that much. But I'm pretty sure it will bug some of you. Godzilla vs. Megalon. The goofiest and stupidest in tone Godzilla movie. Technically, this movie doesn't have aliens. It has people that live in the ocean, or like underground in caves. Technically not aliens. I think, if I remember correctly, this is supposed to be just a Jet Jaguar movie with the robot that a guy and his son created. He was supposed to fight Megalon. I don't know why they decided to throw Godzilla in there, but I'm kinda glad they did. I just don't think it was done enough. I don't like Jet Jaguar. I don't like Megalon that much. For as much as he was built up, he just turned out really goofy and really childish, which I think that's like part of his charm, and everyone's gonna say, oh, but that's a good thing, he's not like this soulless killer. And yeah, I get that, but like, it wasn't really that fun watching him fight like that. But speaking of fighting, the end fight scene where Godzilla finally shows up is really fun to watch, if a little bit stupid. Suddenly Godzilla knows Kung Fu for the first part of the fight. Sure, go ahead, Godzilla, you watch your Jackie Chan movies. They throw Gigan in there, which obviously leads to a lot of stock footage from Godzilla vs. Gigan. Sure, go ahead. You know, it was kind of alright seeing him cut Godzilla's shoulder again, because that was a pretty brutal scene from the first Gigan movie. I don't know. I think I would rewatch this less than I would rewatch some of the other movies that you've seen me talk about or heard me talk about. This is which movies I think were technically better than the others rather than ones I would rewatch again and again. Except for later on this list. A lot of those I would rewatch tons more times. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I kept hearing how this was, like, such a great movie. Such, like, an iconic movie. The introduction of Mechagodzilla. King Caesar being this incredible monster. I don't see it. Like, it's fine. Mechagodzilla obviously very brutal in this movie and his next. The scene where, in disguise as Godzilla, he breaks Angus's jaw, basically. That was very, very brutal and kind of fun to watch, if a little bit sad, for obvious reasons to any Godzilla fan. You know, the fight scenes were pretty good, especially when Godzilla and King Caesar team up on Mechagodzilla and he just takes them both on. I didn't like King Caesar that much, though. Mainly because they spend like 5 minutes straight summoning King Caesar with a song, and that gets old really quickly. It's good, but not as great as the aliens are back again, this time as monkeys. You know, they're about as interesting as any other aliens in this series, so not very, at least to me. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Okay, I really don't like one particular thing about this movie, and it's kind of a very important detail. The time travel. Not aliens, but people from the future, they come back and take some present-day humans back further to the past to the island that Godzilla was on before he was turned into Godzilla. Godzilla at this time is a T-Rex, or a dinosaur of some sort, in 1954. Do you see a problem with that? As if that wasn't jarring enough, the day before the bomb is sent to the island, the people from the future, they teleport the Godzillasaur's body to an underwater trench, like far away, so that when the bomb hits, he won't be in the way and he won't turn into Godzilla. Then they leave, but before they leave the little Dorats on the island. So King Ghidorah is created from the bomb and these Dorats. But when they all go to the future, you know, Godzilla hasn't been created from the bomb now. He's in a trench. But everyone still knows that he existed. They know who Godzilla is. He has destroyed the city before. It's just like at the point where the people come back to the present, having just disposed of Godzilla, it's just like all of a sudden he's vanished off the face of the earth. I don't think that's how time travel would work. And then, I don't know, there's just a lot about this time travel that doesn't make sense. Because if Godzilla was never created, then a lot of this series shouldn't have happened, and a lot of future events shouldn't happen. Like Godzilla vs. Destroyer, for instance. It was created by the Oxygen Destroyer from when Godzilla was a thing in 1954. But if Godzilla wasn't a thing in 1954, then Destroyer couldn't have been created from the Oxygen Destroyer. So, you know, it's just little things like that that just really suck you out of the movie.